As you kind of run downstairs into the observatory and look forward towards the exit, you do see this tall figure standing before you. This old, ancient ceremonial armor, red war paint, feathers over the shoulders, a large mask with horns kind of coming off the front of it, and a large set of wings that seem to take up the entire space. They kind of don't really look like real wings. You can hear them like kind of rattle as if there's wooden bits to it, and there's feathers straight throughout it. It looks ceremonial.
Oh no. You don't suppose they're on our side?
No, I don't think so, Wave. I think we should get out of here as fast as we can.
You hear stumbling down the stairs as you see Robert kind of holding up Archibald, who's like barely conscious, blood kind of pouring out from the corner of his lip, a big like bruise forming under his eye.
Wonder how that happened.
She kind of looks over to you, notices Wave holding the spear, Mage Splinter, and Juniper, you're holding the triangular, the artifact. She kind of looks at you, and then turns her attention to the two boys, where Archibald kind of looks out. They attacked us. They have what you want. Take it from them. She just kind of looks at them deadpan. You can see no emotion from behind the mask. You have failed me. And Archibald kind of looks, but it's right there. Just take it. We weakened them for you.
Weaken me?
She kind of begins walking towards you, Wave, but like not looking at you, looking towards the two boys, brushes up against you, and she walks over. You took what you obviously did not deserve. They obviously deserve it more than you do. But speak one more time. And she picks up Archibald by the neck and holds him up, and starts walking him towards the bookcase where she shoves him against the wall. And I may break your neck, child.
Well, hey now, that's not necessary. He's still my classmate. I don't think there's any need to use lethal force on anyone in this room.
Basically throws him across the room, and he lands on the desk where you can see a bunch of books kind of scatter, which is a good, 20 feet she's just launched him. She kind of turns back to you. Demons, you have bested who I'd hoped to be my newest pupils.
If you want these, you can have them if you just let us four go.
Wave, shut the hell up.
I don't think we're in a position to really, negotiate here.
We can't just let these things fall into that person's hands.
Listen to your friend, child. You're a fool if you think I'll accept those. See, you are a warrior now. Where is your spirit? Yes, you.
You're not talking about me, right? You're talking about him?
Both of you.
Oh.
If you give up now, you prove yourselves as weak, and the weak do not deserve to live in this world.
So, you won't hurt us if I keep the item?
I didn't say that. See, I am forged by my honor. I will not outright kill you. Not in your weakened state, not when you've proven yourselves of some worth in this world. No, you will have your chance to live. But I'll make you work for it. Or would you rather just die now?
No. I'll choose life. I can I get out of your hair.
I will give you 1 minute to run. Then I will chase you myself.
Say less.
I think Juniper will say, "Get on my back. Look up."
You begin running forward, and you see the two figures kind of still standing at the door. But I didn't say that they wouldn't try to stop you. And then you just hear her say, 60, 59, 58. Roll for initiative. Yeah. Havoc and Izukan, you guys are running through the city streets. And you see up ahead towards this observatory, what look to be three figures kind of walk inside. You can see barely the edge of one. It looks to be some strange appendages coming off of their back, and then two of them are cloaked in shadow, like hoods pulled up, hunched over. But as you are running forward, you kind of see this happening.
Those
Is your
100%
approach-
don't look like good people.
No, they don't.
Okay. Yeah, Havoc will just kind of move towards the scenario. Havoc's the kind of person who just run in the front door. Havoc is going to yell out at the person with the wings, "Hey, bird lady! What's your deal?" And then I'll shoot the bottom ghost-looking thing.
57, 56, 55, 54.
Are you really gonna count the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh my.
Juniper, you're up.
Um,
And you turn around, and you look and see standing in the doorway a large, terrifying white-scale dragonborn with hints of blue, and you can see it has 6 eyes and these large claws that are kind of coming out around it and growing in size.
he's supposed to find a dragon.
And faintly in the background,
Oh wait, I see Havoc's like little tuft of hair just in the background. I'm like, is he with Havoc? Wave is lighter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick him up, crouch down, and just get him onto my back. To spend my last key point, I'm gonna disengage. Hey Jacob, are these windows on the side?
They are.
Can I jump?
So you dive, I'll say 20 feet, and hit the ground. You do kind of land in the snow. You are, however, going to take 1 slashing damage.
That's fine.
Diving through the glass. These cloaked creatures are up, and it is going to dive after you through the window.
Wave's just gonna be like looking down at this thing in a bit of a frown, whirl up some of that arcane energy and cast magnify gravity, 10-foot radius circle. I'm gonna try to get both of these Johns in it because they're 20 feet apart.
Just this aura kind of appears around it, and like like in a heat wave where everything seems like a bit hazy, it's kind of like that, as you can just see like everything around it just seems bizarre. The snow around it just kind of crunches and instantly packs itself down into like that dense snow that's almost like ice in just a singular instant. And this thing is like trying to keep itself up, and you can see pieces of fabric ripping off of its cloak going straight into the ground. Izukan, you look and see the shelf completely crumple. The glass shatters into a powder. You guys are all filled with fear as this thing's eyes seem to just like animate to see this terrifying image kind of appear in your head as this thing like transforms into this terrifying beast that's just screaming out at you. You guys are all frightened, so you can't willingly move closer to it. You have to run away from it. You find yourself unable to move. You watch as this figure kind of walks up towards you, Izukan, kind of grabs you by the chin and almost starts inspecting you. Curious.
No,
She is going to lean into your ear and cast a spell. She was attempting to cast suggestion on you.
Ooh.
Where she leaned in and basically said, I suggest that you follow your friends. And when you've hidden and bunkered down, cry out so I can find you. But you're able to fight it off.
Is the Dragonborn your friend?
yeah.
Wave will whip out his grimoire and read his familial incantation for sapping sting to target both this guy and the lady that's like
feeling
getting
Izukan.
intimate with Izukan.
Cool. Are you attacking her?
Smack. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she tried to cast a spell on me and got real sensual with me. I did not enjoy that.
As you claw into her, and she kind of puts her arms out, and you can see like this armor. It looks old, but it's holding together. And you watch as she kind of extends her hands out, and you can see feathers turn into like 2 long swords as she kind of twirls them around and is going to rush towards Izukan. 17 necrotic.
Ow!
Wave will look at Juniper, look at the Dragonborn, look at Havoc. You got him?
Yeah.
Wave will action disengage and then jump on Juniper's back.
Yeah. And then Juniper, your action dash goes off. You run 45 feet. So you guys are 45 feet off screen.
Trying to see if I'm thinking if I should just try and instead of attacking, try and use like a persuasion roll. See if I can bullshit my way out of this. Just offhandedly, Havoc will be like to the lady, "What do you even want?" And smack the ghost. And then Havoc will not move.
Okay. Izukan. Alright, Havoc. I mean, not Havoc. Izukan, you disengage and run off. Havoc, you're standing there. The figure kind of looks forward to you. Awfully brave. I respect it.
Havoc truly is just like pointing his sword at all three of these people. Like, I think Havoc is slowly shuffling like a little bit, just standing in front of this alleyway. "Listen, lady, I don't know if it really matters if you respect this. I still don't know your deal."
And you'll continue not knowing. Now run. She's gonna cast command.
I'm heading to the Frozen Ire. Y'all meet us there whenever you get a chance. Don't worry about it. Just whenever you have the opportunity. And she's just gonna. As fast
Truly
as she
just
can.
gives the biggest what? Even though he's been commanded to run, of just like, did you just yell where we're meeting up? It just mentally goes through his head.
Havoc.
You didn't need to tell me twice. And he kind of, holding his sword, brings it up to his head in like a motion that would look like he is about to stab himself in his face. But the sword like melts into flame as he just kind of like, and leaves. He runs. He was commanded to.
You didn't have to waste a spell slot on me.
Yeah, he was going to.
I think the adrenaline wears off, and Juniper's at 5 health. She's gonna collapse on the floor, get in the door, and go, "Hey, y'all," and straight onto the ground. We could use some help.
You can see, you can hear like chair scooching as the figure's sitting in the corner of the room. One looks like they've had a little bit too much to drink, but regardless, see that something's very bad has happened, and you're all bloodied and bruised. Like your arms like necrosis a bit. Something really bad happened.
Dead guy on the back. Of
Yeah. They run over and start kind of taking you into the room, and then at this point, Izukan and Havoc, you kind of make your way here. Berdoth instantly goes and starts pulling out like a medical kit. Starts coming over to like attend to your wounds before seeing Havoc and Izukan.
And Havoc just points at Wave. "What the heck was that? Actually."
I don't know. Ghosts?
No, not the ghost. I meant the lady.
Your guess is as good as mine. She mentioned something about apparently Robert and Archibald were supposed to fetch this scepter and the small artifact for her, and we took it back to the university, but she showed up and told us that we're warriors now and to run so she could enjoy the hunt. I'm not a warrior, I'm a scholar.
What in the actual...
Can I make a history check to see if I recognize her wings, like, at all?
It actually does look semi-familiar.
And I'm assuming that it's Frodo Angelo's work?
No.
No? Okay.
No, not at all. You actually recognize this from something you saw quite recently, and this was from the book that Archibald had, where he was getting really into the like manifesto and the work of Asgrand. The wings you recognize as being like these ceremonial wings taken on by those chosen by Asgrand to serve beside him. They were known as the Valkyries.
Interesting.
They were only women.
You know, now that I think about it, she kind of looked like a Valkyrie? I have that book, right?
Mm-hmm. You took it with you.
I'm gonna pull it out and slide it on the ground towards Havoc and just like tap it. I think you'll find it in there. I don't know what exactly she wanted from us, but
Havoc picks up the book, goes, passes it off to Izakon.
What does this say?
It's like a manifesto talking about Asgrand. Some call him an angel, some call him a god, who ruled over all of Vanearth in the days of old, was responsible for the creation of many of the realms, and in some stories is responsible for the creation of Vanearth. And in this book, everything's referred, Vanearth is actually referred to as Midgard. All the different realms have kind of different names that are associated with Asgrand's own creation, including his realm, Asgard. And it just kind of talks about the hierarchy of power, whom people are meant to serve, how Asgrand was true and just and good, and created a world of order. But now there's a world of chaos and kind of seeking to find him, release him, and return his glory to the world, so he can take his place as the rightful god over all.
I think Havoc leans over to somebody, close by to the door, and it's just like, hey, by the way, I might not sit so close to the door tonight, and he, kind of shakes his hand, I give it 70-30 whether some zombie ghost bust it down.
Beardolf kind of looks. Right. Seal up all the windows. Barricade the door. No one comes in or out tonight.
I'm stuck here tonight too.
Oh, they got plenty of accommodations.
Wave is sitting there trying to force himself to grumble out a thank you because he does not like this man.
Mm-hmm.
But on the one hand, he's like, well, he's helping us. On the other hand, he's mean.
Juniper turns to Wave later and goes, Bearholt, just bless his heart. He's trying so hard. He really is.
Fine.
We gotta give him the benefit of the doubt, Wave, okay?
I guess.
After a bit, you hear a sound on the door.
No thanks.
As it rattles. Then you hear clawing against some of the windows, which have all kind of been closed. They seem to have these big shutters that clamp down. As you recognize, it's not just two creatures, it's a bit more, who you can hear are around the building trying to find a way in. And it sounds animalistic.
Havoc will 100% peek some of the boards.
Mm-hmm. And you can see what looks to be a humanoid figure kind of slumped over. They look to have fairly sunken features. They look human, but there's something crucial missing. But they're dressed in kind of these these same kind of dark cloaks, and just kind of looking, and you can see they kind of go up to the window and start kind of clawing at it, kind of putting their face up against it, almost I guess a chicken, putting their eye up against it, very weird movements.
Yep, there's some weird zombie ghost things outside.
Fair enough. And after about 20 minutes, it doesn't sound like there's any attempt to forced entry. Just quietly trying to find a way in. But there's tapping and clawing, and it eventually fades.
At a certain point during this time, Havoc would have 100% walked over to where there is some paper, or take a bar napkin and just a quill from behind the counter and be does this happen a lot? Has this happened before?
Barados shakes his head.
Okay. You seem to... This is really...
He writes, Yeah.
He writes,
Eventually, kind of, everything quiets down. As you guys kind of rest here, you guys all kind of settle down for the night. Juniper's injuries being a bit more intense, ends up being convinced to, spend the day here, healing up. Baradoff kind of looking after you.
Clearly against her will.
Yeah. But you took a good amount of necrosis. Havoc did too, but he cares more about you than he does about Havoc. As the three of you sit out in the kind of tavern space of the Frozen Ire.
Izakon would probably notice that Wave is just kind of looking at him but not saying anything. And his lips aren't moving. But Izakon, you can hear Wave thinking, almost like he's thinking out loud, but he's not speaking, and you just hear man, you should really thank that dude. He was a really big help to you and Juniper, but he's so scary. I don't even know his name. And you just kind of hear that. But Wave's like lips aren't moving. He isn't speaking it. It's like you're literally hearing him think out loud.
Izukai kind of tilts his head because, he's hearing Nerd Boy's thoughts from across the table.
When you tilt your head, you definitely hear, "Oh no, I think he realized that I'm looking at him." And Wave like turns his head to the side.
I like to imagine 100% while this is happening, Havoc is trying to make conversation, and neither of these two are paying attention at all. Are you two having a moment?
Hmm?
He just points at the both of you.
I do not know.
The name's Wave. Thanks a lot for earlier.
No problem. My name is Izukan.
Mm.
And I'm Havoc. No, you both already know that. Well,
So is Juniper gonna be all right?
She'll be fine.
now that introductions have gone through, we go ahead and clear my name.
Well,
Oh,
another question. What is that? Points at the dodecahedron?
It is
Or whatever it
a
is?
tetrahedron. So
Tetrahedron.
four-sided
Here,
pyramid. Yeah.
here,
And you can see it has all sorts of strange runes and slits kind of engraved within it. You can see what appears to be a large circle with a chisel and a paintbrush kind of X'd across it.
oh, yeah. If we bring these back to the university, that should clear your name, Havoc.
Why don't we go give these back to the school?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Is it safe? Like, can we leave here without getting...
Izukan looks at the windows. Are they still boarded up and everything from last night?
They've been opened up. There are people kind of coming in the morning to kind of get their jobs going out to the day. There's traffic now.
Gives a big ol' smack on Wave's back. Nothing bad happens in the daytime.
Wasn't it during the daytime that we got jumped by the saber-tooth?
But that was different.
Weird, I know, but daytime, nonetheless.
That
You say
proves my point. Well,
after
Oh,
Wave, I guess bad things can happen during the day. And he just puts his hand on his shoulder. Or at night. Really, bad things
Nervous
can happen
sweat.
at any time.
we need to see Professor Gangela about this. This would be like where Wave would lead the way, but he is just like stone. Like he's standing up, like he was like ready to like get up, but like he's not moving.
he got up like he was ready to, but then his legs went.
Yeah.
Izukan, you kind of stand up, ready for Wave to start walking, and then he just freezes, like this petrified look, and Havoc, you stand up too, and
Izukan's just gonna open the door.
Right. Yeah.
You are the student here, so
Yeah.
100% knowing that he could lead the way, but he thinks this is kind of funny.
Wave, you kind of step outside, and as you kind of look left to right, like you're about to cross the street, you can see people moving across the snow. There's a bit of traffic through the town, and you can see people bundled up in cloaks and jackets, and there is a slight bit of paranoia that it's like anyone in this street could try to kill me.
A little bit more than slight for Wave.
A bad thing could happen at any time.
Kind of walk up the large university steps. You can see a set of two Frostbrand guards standing there. They look to Izukan. What's your purpose?
I'm here with him to deliver items to clear his name.
Heard we might hear from you.
Aye, recently framed foreigner here.
This way. You guys are led to like the central auditorium, where you can see as you open the long doors, it's a long sloped path that goes down. There are a bunch of seats, kind of this amphitheater, so the semicircle theater right in the center. There's an upper level full of balconies. Everything's like kind of this bluish white silver kind of color scheme, bits of black thrown in there. And you can see up on stage what looks to be a good number of professors, as well as 2 students who, Izukan, you briefly recognize as the 2 who kind of escaped up the stairs. Wave, you recognize as Robert and Archibald. And then you see a bunch of Frostbrand guards kind of in the room as well, kind of standing around monitoring. As you are led down, you hear a loud voice shout out, "We were waiting for you! Welcome!" And as you kind of approach and step up, you can see the individual speaking to you is a shorter dwarven fellow. Seems to have a very stern look in his face, long white hair pulled back in a ponytail, and a large full white beard that is braided at the ends. He wears very, very nice clothes. And Wave, you recognize this as Headmaster Hammercast. You're afraid of him, as are a lot of other students. He's known to kind of walk the halls and yell at students for their shenanigans, or if they just seem to be fishy. But he's the kind of person where he's going to get angry now and then be completely chill later. There is then Professor Milt, who is a crazy old wizard man. He's got the classic pointed hat, the long robes, the big bushy white beard, long white hair, big circular glasses. Lastly is Professor Gondula. Darker skin, brown hair pulled back into a bit of a bun. She wears a light tan jacket, very Indiana Jones-esque as far as the way she looks. The headmaster looks to you as you step up. "It's a pleasure to meet you!" Looks up to all of you as he's much shorter.
Havoc, normally is very loose. The second he got into this building where he saw, like, a shit ton of authority figures, has immediately just, like, kind of clammed up a little bit.
Professor Gondula kind of looks to you expectantly. "Did you end up finding what you were seeking?"
Oh, yeah. Pull out the mage splinter and then reach into his bag and pull out the tetrahedron. Both artifacts recovered. We came here to return them, and hopefully this clears up Havoc's name.
The headmaster kind of nods. He takes the staff and he takes the tetrahedron, looks at it, turns to Professor Gondula, who takes it, looks at it. "Yeah, this is it. We've already got enough evidence to charge Archibald and Robert. This completes everything." And you can see the 2 boys just stand silently in shame. You can see Archibald has like a huge black eye, a gash across the side of his head. His hair's a bit matted and bloodied still. "Well, I'm going to put these somewhere where they won't see the light of day." And she kind of begins walking away. Hammercast kind of speaks up. "Don't you think we should, learn more about these?" Professor Gondula kind of looks back. "Headmaster, all due respect, Lord Angelo's tetrahedron is already on a blacklist. And this mage splinter, after looking through Robert's room, I'm not sure if these artifacts, these items should be in a place where anyone can reach them, including us staff at the university." Stomps his foot a little bit, like tapping it on the floor, thinking, "I think we should do some research. Find out why these things were sought after. Wave.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about the figures there? We've heard from Robert and Archibald slightly. They turned themselves in. Got in too deep. Spilled a lot, but just want to make sure your storylines add up."
Juniper called her a Valkyrie. She had black wings and dark armor, masked. Didn't see her face, but she commanded 2 ghastly creatures, fended them off as best as we could while getting away, and then bunkered down in the frozen ire for safety.
Professor Milt kind of speaks up. "Valkyries! Oh, you're lucky to get out alive!"
She kind of let us go. She told us to run so she could enjoy the hunt.
That's concerning.
Yeah.
Angela kind of standing here just thinking things through. With due respect, if there's a Valkyrie involved, that's all the more reason to maybe send us to Iris. They might be able to take better care of this than we can. Send it to Professor Helm. I know she's away at the moment, but we should get her advice on this. I still look up to her as a mentor. Wave, you would recognize the name. Professor Helm, a professor of history and divination, She works a lot in the history and magic department, just kind of learning to figure out what artifacts do. Her main thing is finding out what do artifacts do, how dangerous
Right.
are they. She works a lot on digs across the nation and going to different dig sites and giving her advice on stuff. So she's very rarely actually at the school.
Right.
And she was actually Professor Gondola was actually her pupil, like her prize pupil, who
Okay.
has now kind of replaced her at the university. Perhaps we get in contact with Professor Helm, see if she can come in, give her advice before we make any rash decisions. I don't want to give something that's obviously wanted away to a competing school. Think of the discoveries that could be made. What we could bring to Stone Paint. We pride ourselves on being a place where Frodo Angelo's works are. Why would we give up an artifact we know nothing about? That artifact is on a blacklist. There's no more finding out about it. Well, maybe we change that. Clearly, I think there's room for more discovery. It was sought after for a reason. We should find out what that is. Professor, I want you to have research done into it. Maybe have one of your students focus on it for the semester. Professor Angelo looks incredibly concerned. And what about the danger we may be putting a student in? That was outside school grounds.
Do you think the Frostblades could stop a Valkyrie?
I know we have great professors here.
Could they stop a Valkyrie? Would
I
a
don't see
professor
why not.
would the professors always be next to the students while they're learning and using this artifact? Always? Would you have the ability to always be watching these students?
Let's be honest, it probably wasn't actually a Valkyrie. Okay? Did you see this Valkyrie take off into the sky and fly?
No, but I saw wings and I felt her hit me.
Might say more about you than it does her, let's be honest. He kind of looks up at you.
I mean, she was commanding the undead, fully, with complete will.
She was also a magic caster as well.
How about we leave it up to the professionals, okay? You two are, what, you're frozen ire? You're
Yeah.
brutes. You listen to what people have to say to you. And
No.
you don't go to my university, so...
No, but the safety of everybody in this city should be everybody's priority, correct? Including the students of your university. I understand wanting to learn more about this. I agree that we should learn more about this. Why is something that is that strong looking for this, and why now? I do agree with that.
And that's why we do research.
But throwing students on the front line first, I don't think is the best idea.
I'm like sweating nervously, like, oh no, I brought these people in here, now they're arguing.
And what about, the spear? Yes, the spear. Mage Splinter. Well, it still needs research done, as far as I'm concerned. And it doesn't seem to have been the, target. As the boys have told us, it was, the tetrahedron that was after, so... Wave!
Yeah,
Would you like a side project?
yeah.
Excellent! And he kind of looks over to Robert, where he has like a briefcase, and he kind of picks it up. Thank you. And then he hands it to you.
Oh,
This
boy.
is Robert's findings we found on Mage Splinter. Robert was working with me. He's not working with me anymore. He's expelled. So now maybe you work with me, huh? Let me find out what this thing can do.
Yes, Professor.
Excellent! And then the headmaster kind of turns to Professor Gondola, hands over the tetrahedron. I trust you'll put this to good use. All right? Consider it top priority. I want to know exactly why they wanted that thing, what it can do, what it was used for. Yes, headmaster. She takes it and nods and, frustrated, walks away. And the three of you leave the auditorium as you can see that here the headmaster kind of picks up his voice, and when you entered it seemed like he was shouting at the two boys, and it's only continued as you walk away.
Havoc lets out like an actual like just gasp. So Wave. Guess you got
Yeah.
a new project to work on, huh?
Yeah, it looks that way.
Do you even know how to use a spear?
No. But I have ways of finding out the intricacies of it. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for me?
You know, the best way to know what a magical item does is to just grab it, focus your thoughts onto it, and just use it.
No.
That's exactly how you use magical items. Come on.
I'm gonna take this to the library and start cracking at it.
I'm just saying.
The wave way.
Wave, it's called Mage Splinter. You should grab it and splinter some mages with it, and then you'll know what it does.
That's one way of finding out, among other potentially better ways of finding out.
Wave, you sit in the library
Yes, sir.
and you look at the spear and just like, as you're looking at it, you're just like, how did I get here? Like,
Yeah.
thoughts in your head are
Right.
just like, what? Why am I here now? Like, a good amount of this first, like, 30 minutes or so, your thoughts are so scattered over the past 24 hours that it's hard to maintain focus.
Well, crap. I accepted that because I have a hard time turning down my professors and anyone who has any kind of authority. And eventually, just kind of like scratching the side of his head, where he's just like, well, I'm gonna have to look into it anyway, might as well. Start doing stuff like ritual cast, detect magic to learn about the magic schools on it.
So there's abjuration.
And then I'll ritual cast identify.
There is much more to this than what I'm about to tell you. As if there's layers to this artifact to be unlocked. For now, all this item does is that when you crit, all magical effects within 10 feet of the target are dispelled, and creatures of your choice concentrating on spells within this 10 feet stop concentrating. But you also, lastly, in addition, you sense that there is something. There's like this weapon thinks. You can sense that there's a consciousness to it.
Okay.
You're trying to like attune to it, and as you focus on it more, it becomes a bit more clear. You can feel yourself almost kind of being sucked inward, and then out of nowhere it just cuts, snaps, and there's nothing.
Huh.
Hello?
It's worth looking for.
Hello?
Wave looks around for a second. Are you Mage Splinter?
Mage Splinter. Yes, I've gone by that name. Who are you, youngster?
Wave. I study the arcane.
Study the arcane. Where's the other boy? Did you kill him?
Are you talking about Robert?
That's the one? Maybe?
He got expelled for trying to take you off school grounds for nefarious purposes.
Nefarious purposes. Why, I haven't been used for nefarious purposes in years.
That's good.
Who am I?
I feel like that's not my place to really tell you that.
You don't know.
I don't know who you are. I know kind of what you are.
Another dead end. I'm searching. You know that, right?
Well, I can surmise you're searching for identity.
Exactly. So much that I can't reach. You know? Like there's
Do
a
you
part
think-
of you that's innate and it's there and it's existing and you just can't quite get it.
Yeah. I wonder maybe if someone were to peel back your layers, be able to reach those recesses of your mind.
Like a melon.
I was thinking more like an onion. You sure you just want to go by Mage Splinter? I mean, I feel like it'd be like me going by human.
That's fair. You're human.
Yeah.
Oh. Your giant's really good.
My what?
You're giant. We're speaking giant.
That we are. Well, I'm studied well.
Alright. Talking to you's tired me out. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Good night.
I actually fell for it.
Can Wave still hear him say that?
Yes.
Wave isn't like saying anything back. He's just looking at it, and like Wave is thinking to himself, I wonder if he knows that I can hear him, or if he knows I'm looking at him.
It.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you down.
Havoc, you make your way through the city streets, and as you're kind of looking around, still a little bit on edge, you head into the door and make your way to the trap door that leads to her downstairs workshop.
I'm home!
So you kind of climb down the ladder. She looks up from her workstation, and she kind of pulls off a pair of goggles she has over her face, and...
Gogwin!
Where have you been?
I was set up.
I heard the whole town was looking for you.
Yeah. Well, I kind of ran off into the woods.
I forgot. I need to give this to you. And she pulls out a bag of 10 gold pieces.
What is this for?
The thing.
Yes!
Look, I'll be honest. I knew something was up, but they offered us a good amount of money, and I figured if I paid you...
You see just this completely just, like, disappointed. Cogwin, so what I'm hearing is, you knew I was going to be set up.
I suspected, and I would have told you, but I didn't know if you could play it off naturally. And I trusted you. You got out, you're fine.
What if I didn't? I could have been caught by, like, the Frostbrands.
You would have gotten out.
Yeah, now without a brand.
Did you get branded?
No!
I think we're fine.
That's because I ran away.
See, here's your 10 gold. And let's just pretend this never happened. Because I feel slightly bad. How about you do these jobs and then take off for the rest of the weekend? Izukan, you find yourself back at the Ire. As you kind of sit there, Baradoth pours you a drink. Is it coffee?
If it's early enough in the morning, probably.
Yeah. He pours you a cup of coffee and kind of pulls his bench from behind the counter and kind of sits down and leans forward and looks at you. You gonna talk about last night? Or yesterday morning? I could tell there was more you were gonna say.
The boy wasn't a boy.
What was he?
A Jotun.
There's many kinds of Jotun.
He seemed to be, if I remember correctly, a frost Jotun.
So a cousin of mine.
The boy was gone, and that saber-tooth appeared. When we killed the saber-tooth, it transformed into a polar bear. When we killed the polar bear, it transformed into a yeti.
I've heard stories of a frost giant that do the things you're claiming, but if any of those stories are true, you are in grave danger.
The way he was talking, it wasn't that I was in grave danger, it's that I was in grave danger.
In light of what happened, I'm gonna keep you closer in the city walls for a little bit. Those 2 kids you were with, it was only legends I was raised on. But have them look into the Chaos Bringer. I'll let Juniper know if she's still resting up, but make sure they're still on the same page.
Speaking of which, the pyramid thing, the school's decided that they're going to research it.
Makes sense.
And I don't know why the headmaster there wanted students to be researching it.
I've been around here for a while. Stone Paint University, they have a lot of the students do the brunt work. Saves them time, money, resources, and students get hands-on experience and something for their portfolio.
Yeah, but Valkyrie was after that. Or, from what I could tell, a Valkyrie.
Next time you see Havoc, let him know I have work for him.
Will do.
You can join him, actually.
I was just about to ask that. Keeping me within city walls, just upping
Just for now.
Izukan is gonna kind of just sit down and just collect his thoughts and organize his thoughts and see if he can draw any connections between these things happening. He probably can't, but it's just one of those things that he's trying because he can see that something is happening. Something, he doesn't know if it's bad, but he knows that it's something not normal. Feels almost like we're going into the start of a new age. It's almost like this modern age is finally going to be getting its name soon. Because currently, if I remember correctly, it's just the modern age.
Yeah.